is Zachariah Julian. I'm from the Jicarilla Apache Nation, and I just wanted to start with some thank yous. Thank you, everyone at the Library Company, especially Rachel. I enjoyed the conversations with Paul. And speaking of Paul, thank you, Paul Wolff Mitchell, for the insightful conversations, answering any questions I had. You were both fully available, but everybody at the Library Company, thank you for your support. It's just been great. Thank you to the We Are the Seeds team. Without you, I couldn't be here. Without the support, without listening to me vent, it means a lot to me. Thank you, St. John, for helping me with this video and this project. Thank you for that. And yeah, thank you for your love and support. And thank you to my beautiful wife, Sonia, for helping me, picking me back up when I was in the darkness. She helped me a lot through this process. And a big thank you to my mother and father as well, and the Jicarilla Apache Nation in New Mexico, for giving me a home and a culture and a voice. And I thank you all for allowing me here to speak before you and to amplify their voice. And I'd like to dedicate this performance to my medicine man, Robert Cervantes, who passed away, unfortunately. He was my brother and dear friend and a mentor. So thank you. And today, the first piece. Tonight I'll be performing 4 songs that are collectively Project Obtuse. These 4 songs were composed in response to the 4 cases currently up at the Library Company. This is beyond glass cases, but from the native perspective. The first song is called Mangani. Mangani in Jicarilla is the color white. It's also what we call white people, Manganis. And Mangani begins with a prayer from my father, Ronald Julian.
Tsuye, Tilan Kai, Ti Hato Vigani, Taikata Naiki, Study Chijiti, Itashidi, Mayatachi, Heyan Tsuye, Nahastinchi, Zakudi Jo. Judith Lady Tata Martin Kinder, a touching a joint death to ye, a Eden to ye.
Ngani's coming over, hey-oh, hey-oh. Ngani's coming over, run home. This is what they do, make a science of you, then they change your name, and burn your home. Ngani's coming over, hey-oh, hey-oh. Ngani's coming over, hey-oh. They're taking all our culture, burned our home, burned our home. They're taking all our culture. We resisted. We resisted. We resisted. The Manganis knew nothing of us. They thought we were the lost children of Israel. Archaeology and warfare combined. For scientific racism. Our sacred lands, our beliefs and practices were desecrated. Piece by piece. The song is called Our Trees. They changed the name of our trees. Mountains and our seas. They changed the name of what we mean. They took us piece by piece. Our homeland, give it back to me. They changed the name of what we need. No mercy. No mercy. Took us piece by piece. Our homeland, give it back to me. Our homeland, Growing up, my mother would tell me stories about her experiences at boarding schools. Being a child, I could not comprehend the trauma and horror of a failed genocide that involved into indoctrination. Kill the savage and save the Indian. The generational trauma caused by this government, I would like all of you to see it for yourself. And this is my mom's story. My mother's name is Sharon Julian. And this is what they did.
I was almost every child that was on the reservation, that lived on the reservation, at the age of 5 had to go to boarding school. And what they would do is they would send the sheriff out, and he would be on horseback, and he would come to our houses, and he would tell us we had to go to school if we were already 5 years old, whether we wanted to or not. And so, since my parents lived at the southern end of the reservation, I was put in the dorm when I was 5 years old. It was very traumatic for me because I was put in a situation that I didn't want to be in. Even though I was 5 years old, I knew that it was wrong. I got traumatized really bad because my parents just left me. It was hard. It was really hard. Sleeping in a strange bed and having them make us take a shower. I remember the soap smelled really bad. And later on I found out it was lye soap, which is bad. And I knew how to speak some words of English, but I wasn't fluent in English. Most of the time we spoke Apache. And it was really hard for us because they were telling us you cannot speak your language. Every time we spoke in our language, we would get punished. And twice I got my mouth washed out with soap. So I learned at a very young age not to speak my language. It took me a while to grasp the English language, but eventually I got it to where I didn't speak Apache anymore, except when I was staying at my grandma's house. I stayed in the dorm till I was like in the 10th grade, and it was hard because we didn't see our parents very often. We only saw them on Thanksgiving and Christmas. And now, today I went out of town to buy groceries, and I was really sad because sunflowers are coming up. And when I was little and growing up, anytime we saw the sunflowers coming up, we knew that that's the time to go back to the dorm. And it was a depressing, sad time, not only for me, but for others. It wasn't until I got older and when I went to college and came home that I finally realized it wasn't only me that was traumatized by what happened. But when I brought up the subject of sunflowers, I wasn't the only one that was affected by knowing that we're going to be separated from our parents again. I had really long hair, and we can't cut our hair unless we have our coming out feast, our puberty right feast. Then we can cut our hair. But when I was in the 2nd grade, we had an outbreak of nits, and the matrons just braided her hair and then just got scissors and cut it straight across. And I felt so bad. And then when parents came to pick us up for, I think it was Christmas, my mother saw my hair. She said, "What happened to your hair?" And I said, "We got nits." She didn't say, "You start And I didn't have a feast, and I never had long hair after that. I always kept my hair short. And the scary part about it was, there was a big living room, and we would all be sitting in there, and the matrons would be putting DDT in our hair. I remember they would just shake it on their head, and there'd be like a cloud of powder going up in the air. And it wasn't until years later that I realized that it's very dangerous and causes cancer and other problems. That was a traumatic time for me. And the other traumatic time for me was when I got my mouth washed out with soap twice because I was speaking my language. And it wasn't until I turned, I think, 30, when I was going to college and I was studying psychology, that I came home and was talking to my dad, and we were talking about the language, the loss of our culture, the loss of my language. And he said, well, what's stopping you from speaking it? And I told him I don't remember most of it. So every chance he got, he would talk Apache. We also had to wear government issued clothes. And to this day, I really don't like flannel shirts because we wore flannel shirts that were starched real hard. And we had to put them on, and it was starched. There was so much starch in there, we had to pull it apart. And they gave us these ugly lace-up shoes and everything. All the furniture was gray. So to this day, I do not like the color gray. And my husband makes fun of me because I'm always calling it Grandma Gray. And actually, it's the BIA gray that I really don't like. It wasn't until I was 30 years old that I finally drove back and forth, because at that time they didn't have online classes, so I drove back and forth for 2 years, and which is like 85 miles away. But I wanted to learn, and I did my basics there. And then where I was working for behavioral health, SIPI, Southwest Institute of Polytech, whatever it's called, in Albuquerque, SIPI, was offering classes for counseling. And my boss said, you need to go. We get over there. I remember my first day I got over there, I had to sign paperwork saying that while I'm taking these classes, I will go to therapy. And my first thought was, for what? There's nothing wrong with me. Oh boy, I learned. Taking all those classes in counseling, once a week, would see a therapist, and I learned about abandonment issues, not only emotional and physical abandonment, but I also learned, because I used to have real bad anxiety attacks, I had to learn how to reparent myself. And then I started drinking really bad, which affected my kids, and I still feel bad about that. And then two of my daughters passed away from drinking, and one of them had cancer, the other one just died from alcoholism. She just drank herself to death. And left 7 kids, and we kind of end up raising them. But as a result of what I learned in school and the treatment that I had to go through to take care of myself, I learned a lot of things. I learned that as a female, I had power. And so I learned how to reparent myself, but also I learned breathing exercises. I was the oldest of 5 girls, and when there was violence going on in my family, it was me that took care of my sisters. But I couldn't, there was nobody there to take care of me. It was really hard for me to hug people. It was really hard for me to say I love you, because I never got that from my parents, and they didn't know how to soothe or comfort. So, which isn't their fault too, because they're a generation of the dormitory, which I call the dormitory syndrome. And they were trying to get rid of us. They were trying to do away with us. But guess what? We're still here. They didn't do away with us. We're still here. We survived. Our language survived. We've lost some of our customs, and but it's the way I feel is you're not going to get rid of us. You're not going to get rid of us. We're still here.
There's a morning prayer that I sing, my son. There's a warrior in your heart. Here's a morning prayer. Will I braid your hair? We never said goodbye. Here's my war song. Can I tell someone my heart is on fire? No mercy is all I see from this empire. There's a morning song we should sing, everyone. There's a warrior in our heart. Here's a morning prayer while we braid our hair. We never say goodbye. Here's my warning song. Can I tell someone my heart is on fire? No mercy is all I see from this empire. Here's my war song. Can I tell someone my heart is on fire? No mercy is all I see from this empire. On November 16th, 1990, the Native American Graves Protection and Reparation Act was signed into law. We resisted, and we survived. Indigeneity lives on. We are the seeds. And this is our homeland. I'm indigenous, and here I go. Hey, oh, hey, oh. I'm indigenous, and here I go. Thank you.